Alright people, I just want to talk to y'all guys today about retro gaming, on why all of a sudden a big interest in retro gaming, because the retro market is booming more than ever, and a lot of people still wondering why a lot of these games cost up to $1,000, some even more, especially if it's factory sealed. It's an easy answer to that. It's about supply and demand and the rarity of that product. So I just want to give you my thoughts and my opinions on how do I feel about the retro gaming and why all of a sudden the interest in retro gaming, not only from me but from a lot of people. So just sit back, relax, and stay tuned. As a 90s kid, I never had more than one console because, you know, growing up I didn't really have all the money in the world. You know, we was kind of poor at one point, so basically, you know, the games that I would love to have, I had to either pick one or sometimes pick two, and the console that I kind of wanted, you know, I had to go to a friend's house and play, like a Super Nintendo. You know, I was majority of a Sega kid growing up. I had the Sega Genesis, the Sega CD, Sega Saturn. I never had a 32X. It didn't last long anyway. I had the Sega Game Gear, the Sega Dreamcast. You know, I was majority of a Sega guy. So if I wanted to play Nintendo games, you know, like a 64, Super Nintendo, I go over a friend's house. I always had the Nintendo handhelds, like the Game Boy, the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Color. I always had those. So, you know, I had the best of both worlds growing up. Whether if I owned a console or if I didn't, I could always borrow a friend's console or go there and play with them. So, you know, 90s was awesome. The games in the 90s was awesome, and people want to know why all of a sudden the big interest. And like I say, it's an easy answer to that. People my age, you know, in their 30s, late 20s, or maybe early 40s, during the 90s, or whether if they was a young child like I was, or whether if they was a teenager, you know, they basically was in that time period in which they was playing those type of games, those timeless games in which they still playing today. Or, you know, maybe they traded those games in, and 20-30 years later, all of a sudden the value of these games went up a lot, and all of a sudden we got interest in these games again. Because look at the indie games that we get on our consoles. Look at what we just got on the Nintendo Switch, Octopath Traveler, in which is really a love letter to the JRPG games that we got during the 16-bit on the Sega Genesis, on the Super Nintendo. That game reminded me of what we played back then, and it sold very well on the Switch. You know, not only that sold well, a whole bunch of these indie games sold very well. And with these indie games that's retro inspired, that sold well, you know, gained a lot of interest, not only from people our age in their 20s and 30s or even 40s, but people that's in their teens or even younger than that, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, you got a whole bunch of younger kids that's in elementary school that loves retro gaming. The retro gaming shop that I go to purchase some of my games, there's like an elementary school and a middle school right across the street from the store, and every time I go there, there's kids they're so giddy, they're so excited to play a lot of these games in which they never played before, because of their parents that's probably my age telling them all about the game that they experienced when they was growing up. So people that's in my age bracket are the ones that's passing the word down to our kids, or maybe little nephews or nieces or sons and daughters, and all of a sudden they have an interest in it. And by them having an interest in it, there is an interest in the indie game, because majority of the independent games that we get are retro inspired. So since these games are retro inspired and there's a big interest in those type of games, there's a big interest into the older games back in the 90s. So that's why, you know, retro gaming is so very popular, and you know, it's popular all, you know, for the good reasons. But the only bad thing I can say about it is the fact that these games are going to continuously and go up in price, because there's some games that's up to $1,000 or even more, especially if it's a sealed, a factory sealed game, never been opened. You know, there's some games that is mediocre. It's not even all that good, but still costs hundreds of dollars because it's factory sealed. You know, if you got the Mega Man X game, X2, X3, X4, that costs so much money because, you know, not only was it popular, it's kind of rare at the same time. It didn't sell. I won't say it didn't sell well. It didn't sell like a Super Mario. It didn't sell like a Donkey Kong. It's so good enough, but it didn't sell to like Nintendo standards. And that's why you see those type of games that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You know, I just came from Retro Shop today, saw Mega Man X3 for $300. I was like, wow, I really want to play that game, but I know, like, I would love to buy the game, you know, buy the original copy, but I'm not gonna pay $300 because I can always get that Mega Man X collection that just came out for a lot cheaper than that. But as a retro collector, I would love to get my hands on that. But it's all about the supply and demand, and it's all, you know, it's the rarity of the product that's driving up the prices of these games. So that's basically your answer. It's about the rarity. It's about the supply and demand, and, you know, people, like I say, people my age or maybe a little older than me is passing the word down to the younger generation, and the younger generation all of a sudden has an interest in these games. And I just want to get y'all, you know, I want to get y'all thoughts and y'all opinions in the comment section below. What do y'all think about retro gaming? Are y'all into the retro gaming like I am? You know, do y'all play a whole bunch of retro inspired indie games, or did you even play Octopath Traveler, in which it is a love letter to the 16-bit era? Like, y'all just give me your thoughts and your opinions on how y'all feel about this. Are y'all deep into the retro gaming like I am, or, you know, you just play a little bit, or you just don't care? Y'all let me know in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, please, and follow me on Twitter. And once again, it's your boy RayGame27. Y'all have a good day. Peace out.